Okay, so today when I woke up, I felt the need to share something. I don't quite know what I want to talk about, but I'm just gonna let my heart flow at this point. Um, so when we look at life, right, just in general, we see that we have a lot of ups and downs, right? We make a lot of friends, we make enemies. We meet people who we like, we meet people who we don't. We meet people that we want to spend more and more time with. We meet people that we want to stay away from, right, at all costs. And in a way, if you look at it, that's the enjoyment of life. That's what really life is. We're just experimenting constantly. And it's important that in this life that we're experimenting constantly, we should have our mind focused on one thing, one goal, right? And I always believe that we shouldn't really make long-term goals. We should start making a bit of short-term goals, because think about it. If we're gonna keep on dreaming about what's gonna happen 10 years down the line, what are we doing? We forget that there's a tomorrow. That tomorrow is gonna be better. That tomorrow has something new for us, but we don't experience that something new because we're too busy and we're too caught up with that dream that we have that's 10 years down the line. So again, I just want to share what I think, that a lot of people, I'm going to use moksha as an example here, okay? A lot of people think that, I want to get liberated. I want to get liberated from this world. I want to be liberated from, all of this torture that we have in this earth. But we fail to recognize that this earth itself is one of the 7 heavens, right? This earth is a heaven. After the earth, there are hell lokas, right? This earth is a heaven, bhumi lok. And we fail to recognize that we have attained moksha, that's why we're here. But we have to get liberated to the point where our consciousness is liberated, and that's when we attain the highest form, right? But people are, there are many people saying that, forget about this worldly, things that we have. Like, don't wear gold, right? Don't have an iPhone, let's say, for example. Don't have a MacBook. You don't need that many cars. I agree. You don't need that many things in your life. Be satisfied with what you already have. But ignoring all of those things and going to achieve one thing, is that really justified? I don't believe that, by having an iPhone, I'm nowhere close to getting moksha. By having a MacBook, I'm nowhere close to getting moksha. I don't believe that. I believe that moksha is in your mind. Moksha is when we are liberated from everything around us. Moksha is when we forget that, I am different than you are. Moksha is when we think that me and you are the same. Moksha is when we remove our ego. Remember, there are 8 types of Lakshmi, and whenever I do certain rituals, I always emphasize on this, that there are 8 types of Lakshmi. The first Lakshmi is Vidya, and the second one is Dhairya. These 2 are my favorite Lakshmis, okay? And they're favorite because Vidya is knowledge. Now, our scriptures identify knowledge as Sa Vidya Ya Vimukte, as mentioned in the Devi Bhagavad Puran, and Sa Vidya Paramo Muktir, as mentioned in the Devi Mahatmya's 1st chapter, right? Essentially, both of them meaning that Vidya is the ultimate liberator. Knowledge is the ultimate liberator. Get knowledge and you will be liberated. This knowledge isn't talking about your degree that you have from Harvard, that PhD that you got, that you worked hard for. That is knowledge, but it's not what this is talking about. Knowledge is when, as I mentioned before, the thought of me and you, that how I'm greater than you are, that thought is banished, is knowledge. And that's what liberates us. That's what takes us to the path of liberation. And trust me, attaining moksha while you're still seeing with your 2 eyes, breathing, talking, feeling, walking, and just having a great time is what moksha is. Because moksha isn't after death. Your soul cannot feel pain after death. During the time of death, your soul does feel pain, but after that point, it feels nothing. So there is no point in trying to strive for moksha that's after death. Try to strive for moksha right now while you're living in this world of Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, WhatsApp, etc. Right? Where we open Facebook, for example, we see that our friend went on a 7-month vacation to 7 different countries. And in our head, we get thought that how come he's doing that? How come I'm not doing that? And we get jealous over that fact. When we open Facebook and when we see that and we don't get jealous, just think that you're on the path of moksha. Think that you're satisfied with everything you have and you're on the path of moksha. Being dissatisfied with whatever you have in this current stage is going to stop you from attaining moksha right now. Forget about after death. Okay? Our scriptures say, the Bhagavad Puran says right here that chanting the Lord's name at the time of death will give you liberation, but in our heads, if we have never chanted the Lord's name, are we going to get liberated? No. We clearly won't get liberated. Right? And so we have to incorporate the Lord into our daily life, whether it's for 5 minutes, whether it's for 2 seconds. One famous example is that, here, I'll put it this way, that you're coming from, let's say, Europe one day, right? The day before you come to Canada, you call your friend and tell them that, oh, on X day, I'll be at YYZ at this time, come pick me up, okay? And then on that day, you arrive at YYZ, Toronto Pearson International Airport, right? You arrive there, your friend comes to pick you up in his BMW, okay? He comes to pick you up, you get wowed by the car, you're like, such a great car you have. You put your luggage in the trunk, right? And you're driving at that point, he's driving. And then he tells you that, oh, I forgot to tell you something. The brakes actually are failed, like the brakes failed in this car, so this car will stop at its own will. We can't really do anything. And then what's gonna be your thought? I want you to think about it. How would you react? Right? You'd be mad at him that how come you didn't tell me this before? I should have known this before I sat in your car. Why didn't you tell me? Right? You would think that. But think about it this way, that our soul is a passenger in that BMW. Our body is this BMW that we have. And our chit, right? Our consciousness is the driver. Now the soul and consciousness can be same on a lot of levels, but I'm differentiating them at this point. Okay? Our consciousness, when it does not have faith and devotion, it is like a car without a brake. Goswami Tulsidas Ji in the Ramcharitamanas explains that Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwasa Rupino. And he says that in the Mangalacharan. Mangalacharan is what Kadhakars, what a lot of book writers write before they start a book, because they want to start the book well. And it's for us to know that without having bhakti, without having faith, this devotion, we can't enter into the life of Ram. Similarly, without having faith and devotion, this life is aimless. This life will stop whenever it stops, but we will not have achieved anything. We may have achieved a big house, a lot of cars, but we may have never achieved that satisfaction that we want, right? So having a break, having that faith and shraddha, vishwas, okay, that devotion and faith as your break in your life is very helpful, because God knows when to stop it and take a turn. And He leads our consciousness to the right path. With saying that, I'm gonna rest my words. Om Shanti.